All right, here it is, a Friday. It is time for episode 41 of The Grail. Welcome aboard. Got a lot of denim talk today. I am obsessed with denim. I have been for probably about 20 years, or really most of my life, but Japanese denim, selvage denim, all the different brands that you can find, like at Standard and Strange, or Selvage, or Mr. Freedom. All these different people that sell this incredible denim. But for me, really, it started about 14 years ago. I was in New York City and I stumbled into Jean Shop NYC. And it really started it off for me as far as being able to get new selvage denim. I met a man named Eric Goldstein who owned the place. And his history in denim was pretty amazing, working at WRL and Lucky Brand and The Gap, and then finally having his own brand. Well, since COVID, this brand it's gone. It is gone, and so is the Cone White Oak Mills is also gone. So there's just this big hole in American-made selvage denim, and along comes Vidalia Mills, and it's the first U.S. denim since Cone White Oak closed. They're out there in Louisiana, and they're in the old Fruit of the Loom factory. So people that are using this denim are like left field jeans, and you can go on YouTube and see some great videos of the looms in process, in action out there in Vidalia. It's like a bummer story, but then a good story, because there's still people with jobs, thank God. And there's still love for denim. It's never going away. The love for denim will never go away. Even during COVID, when it went into sweatpants for a year, everybody was wearing sweatpants. Man, did I miss my denim. And this is a great episode. Eric Goldstein is here today, and he's got a lot of great knowledge. I'm glad you guys are digging the Grail. Please leave a review and subscribe on iTunes and YouTube. I have a YouTube channel, of course. And I love all you guys. This episode is brought to you by MB Leathers. They make my belts. The man is a genius when it comes to leather. He can do motorcycle saddlebags. He can hand tool your seats. He can do custom work for your car interior. But what he does for me is make great, great belts, and I love them. MB Leathers on Instagram. Tell him I sent you. All right, let's get into it. Do not forget, all the podcasts are available on cactusradionetwork.com. Patreon.com/Dean Del Rey if you want to join for some Zoom Fest this weekend. And look at DeanDelRey.com for new tour dates. I've got La Jolla Comedy Store. I got a bunch of dates out there with Bill Burr I'm doing. I'm also going to be in Seattle and Portland with Mr. Mark Maron, Dark Fonzie Partner. I love all you guys. Stay healthy, stay happy, and enjoy the weekend. Here he is, Eric Goldstein, Denim and Leather.
Eric Goldstein. I am the founder of Jean Shop as well as DenimRepair.com.
So insane, dude. Like we met, like we just figured it out. We met like 12 years ago. Yep. But we met in your store in the Meatpacking District. And I thought about it, and I really think that, and I don't know the history before 2005, but really you were the guy that I thought was first with the Japanese denim, you know, but I'm sure there was like Flathead and these Japanese companies.
No, most of those guys came after me.
But I didn't know where to get into that stuff, and you were the first guy to kind of have that store.
We took a lot of that stuff and made a commercial with having a big store right in the middle of New York City.
Right.
And all of our product was only selvage. We're still the only brand out there that I know that only does our own selvage, custom selvage pattern.
Now, let's get into it. You were at Ralph Lauren before this, right?
Yep.
And then were you at Lucky Jeans or no?
No, I was at Gap.
You're at Gap. That was it.
So I started WRL, which is a big brand these days.
You started it?
Yeah, I'm one of the original
What
founders.
year was that?
That was in 93.
93.
Yep. Graduated college in 89.
What'd you do before that?
Graduate college, and I worked for Ralph Lauren in the quality control division.
Really?
I put a fucking suit on every day.
Wow. And you'd come to the city?
No, New Jersey. That's
Oh,
where the office
Jersey.
was, out in Jersey. So
wow.
I would hang out in Jersey and with my suit on, and then one day I got a call saying Ralph wants to meet me as inspired line. And I was like, okay, cool. What is it? And there you go. We started a new line.
So you're working there for a while, and then what makes you leave there?
It was still a small line compared to the Gap.
Right.
You know, the Gap is the largest producer of denim
So they
in the world.
snatched you?
Yeah, they snatched me out of there. Called
Wow.
me and said, come on over. So, so I went to the Gap. I did the Gap for a little over 11 years. Traveled
Gap.
the world, man.
That's got to be weird, right? Working at the Gap. I mean, because at that time, Gap, I mean, in the last few years, the Gap has like their own, like, you know, Chinese selvage jeans or whatever.
Their own challenges, let's say.
Right, yeah. But back then, it's just really like cotton dockers, and it's kind of a yuppie frat guy line, right?
Yeah, it's just so different. I mean, back then Gap was prime time, let's say.
Right.
They were like the deal. If you wanted good stuff and it was readily available, and you went to the Gap, and it was cool stuff then. I was there like at the best times at the Gap. Stock was humming.
Right.
We were selling millions of units. Yeah, it's not like that, unfortunately, anymore, but it's not really like that for anybody anymore.
What do you think really is the kickoff? Because, you know, for years, none of us know anything. Of course, I'm hip to it in the 80s and the 90s of the Japanese and the Big E, Levi, and all that. And then you start to realize, oh, these jeans are different when Japanese guys are coming to the Rose Bowl flea market and buying this stuff like in the gallons. But really, no one really gives a fuck about denim until the mid-2000s. You know, people just bought pants, they blew them out.
Started in the early 90s when I started working on it through Double RL. Now that's when selvage denim started becoming a little bit more mainstream.
And then early in the 90s, they had it.
Yeah, late 90s.
And what were you going to Japan to deal with that, or what was going on? At
that point, I was buying 100% of my fabric from Japan.
And now they bought all the looms, right, and took them over there? Is that what was going on?
Yeah, not all, but a lot of them. Cone Denim still makes some in North Carolina, which is what we use now.
Right.
We use all the Cone domestic stuff for our line now that's sewn in, we sew in Los Angeles and weave it in Greensboro, right outside of Greensboro.
It's sewn in Los Angeles?
Yep, most of my product is. We import some, but we have the majority of it's domestic.
So now you're working
That's the good stuff. That's the stuff you liked back in the day, the good domestic stuff.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, you know, I'm trying to set up the pre-story before, because I remember what happens. I'm just shopping around, and I don't even know why. Oh, I think I was staying in the Meatpacking District, because at the time, the Meatpacking District was hot.
It was hot. It was the hottest place in the world for fashion.
They had that great cafe. What was it called?
Pastis.
Pastis.
We had lunch there one day.
Fuck
remember?
Yeah, we did. We had the steak
there and had a great
sandwich,
lunch.
the best one on the planet. So that was happening. That new hotel was going. You had Stella McCartney, her place. Then I walk into
Jeffries. Remember Jeffries was right there?
Yep, that's right. And I walk into your place, and I'm like, whoa, what the fuck is this? And it's really the first place where I see denim for about $150 or whatever. And I'm like, what is this?
$260.
Yeah, $260.
$260.
Yeah, and I'm like,
literally.
Wow, man, this is crazy. But I feel it, and I go, oh, this is the goods, you know? And this is, you know, it pretty much, you only just had like one or two cuts. You had one cut, and then later you had one called the rocker.
That's right. Exactly. You got some memory.
Yeah. But the thing I loved about it was it had that orange kind of janitor pants label inside, and then you hand-signed them all.
Yeah.
Now, let's get into it. You want to start this thing after you leave the Gap. Do you get a partner? What do you do?
Yeah, two partners. They're the original founders of Lucky Brand.
Oh, wow, those two
Montesano
guys.
And Barry Perlman, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And they're still my partners.
Oh, yeah, I met those guys. They sold Lucky Brand to the Gap, right?
No, I sold Lucky to Liz Claiborne.
Oh,
They
Liz
sold
Claiborne.
Lucky to Liz Claiborne
For
Company.
crazy money, right?
Crazy money. Yeah, a lot of money.
I mean, because Lucky Brand really was hot for a minute, too.
Lucky Brand was hot for more than a minute. Lucky
Well,
Brand was,
yeah, I get it.
it was good. It was the brand for a long time.
Because before you, that's where I was buying my jeans.
Yep.
In San Fran, they had the one there in the marina. They had great cuts, and they had cool rock and roll shirts, and the owners were way into rock.
Yeah, they still are.
Yeah.
Rock and roll. Matter of fact, my partner Barry is opening a record store.
Barry.
Barry's opening a vinyl store in Los Angeles called
Barry.
Super Vinyl.
I met Barry. Remember, he came to the Stones with me in Hollywood Bowl.
Oh,
with his kid.
With Jesse.
Yeah.
That's funny as hell.
Yeah.
I totally forgot about that.
Yeah. And man, did he hook me up. He was like, hey, just go down to the place. Like there was a place downtown or something.
Yeah.
And he's
Warehouse.
like, get whatever you wanted. And I just filled up a car. I was the walking billboard of Lucky Brand for a long time, and I wore the shit out of that
They
stuff.
make great stuff.
They did.
They made great stuff. They made amazing stuff.
And then I start wearing your stuff. So, okay, you get these two partners, and you guys go, let's make our own denim. Yep. And you're saying, are you let's say all those Japanese companies like, Ironheart, Flathead, Strike Gold, Oni, all those guys, are you before that?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So.
Well, I started this 14 years ago.
14 years ago.
Yeah, it was very uncommon to do selvage denim when we started this.
And what was the idea? Just to have some crushing denim that no one had?
Best quality product out there.
And were
My
you
whole
always
thing was
into denim?
I was always into denim. That's what I did at Double RL, and that's what I did at Gap.
But how'd you get into denim?
Kind of by default. I always liked it. Listen, I got a picture of me downstairs when I was 5 years old in a raw denim jacket and raw denim jeans.
Yeah, you're Cliff Burton from Metallica. Yeah. What do they call it? The Canadian tuxedo.
Canadian tuxedo, yeah.
I never understood that knock. I think it's like a great look. To me, Dennis Hopper wore it. I wouldn't go up to him and go, "Sweet Canadian tuxedo." I'd be
a lot of guys wear it. Good.
I'd go, "You look fucking badass." Cliff Burton from Metallica. That was his thing, bell bottoms and a.
If you can pull it off, it's a great look. Some guys don't feel comfortable. I love it.
I never understood people that go, you could pull that off, but I can't. It's like, fuck you. Just wear whatever you want.
But most people won't. They're afraid.
I know. I don't understand.
They're afraid to step out a little bit. They're afraid that somebody's going to point at them and go, look, he looks goofy. Who gives a shit?
You know what?
You wear what you want to wear.
They point and they go, I wish I had those balls.
Right. I wish I could wear that.
I wish I could do that,
Yeah.
but my wife wouldn't let me, or my friends would make fun of me.
People make fun of me.
Like, I carry this bag, and people go, sweet purse. I'm like, what's in that bag? Podcast gear that fucking you listen to every week, you dick.
Fuck yourself.
Fuck yeah. I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? All right, so you guys decide to fire this up. What is the original thing? You want to be in the Meatpacking District?
We wanted to make great quality jean.
Yep.
Whatever the price came out, I wanted to make the best quality jean on the market. We wanted to grow it word of mouth, man. Old school. That's what we did.
And
then
how
we found a great location.
Do you go to Japan and start sourcing out some stuff, or you go to the cone mills? How do you know?
We went to Japan because we knew from all our experience together, the three of us combined, which mill was the best out there, and which trim guys were the best to make. Our zippers are from Switzerland with Riri. We had all the best components.
Right. You still using that stuff?
Yeah, hell yeah. We didn't change the original goods. It's still the original goods, man.
Wow.
14 years later.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, so you open up in the Meatpacking District, and is it a hit right away?
Nah, I think anybody that says anything's a hit right away, unless you're in the entertainment world, it's not. It took a lot of work.
But there's people coming in, like Springsteen came in, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I remember that. At the time, Springsteen all of a sudden was rocking some...
Lou Reed was one of my first customers, literally. He came in, we were open the third day, came in and bought a leather jacket.
Really?
And the leather jacket was unlined. This is a great story. The leather jacket was unlined, so he comes in, he tries it on, and he wears the jacket out one night, and I had it was old school. I had a voice tape recorder when somebody called that night.
Yeah.
To leave a message.
Yeah.
So I come in one day, and it's a message. He's like, this is Lou Reed. I bought a jacket in there, and my white shirt's got all these itsy-bitsy pieces of black all over it now when I take the leather jacket off.
Man, I would sample that and make a song out of it.
Exactly.
With drum loops and shit. This is Lou Reed. They just said boom, 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 black spots on it. So what, do you call him back?
Yeah, I called him back. He came in. I fixed it for him in no time.
Wow.
That's what happens with leather. Sometimes it's unlined. It just, just rub off a little bit. But
well, right away, when I first come in, you don't really quite have the leather till the next year. So I come in, I get a jean jacket and some pants, and I fall in love with the stuff right away. I'm like, this shit is great. Now, when
it's
you're
authentic, just cool.
When you're starting the brand, because now, the cuts are different. Well, how did you pick a cut for the jean, Just
everything we do is vintage inspired.
Okay.
So everything we didn't follow any of the current trends. We went back vintage and just made it what we thought was cool.
So it was like 501 fit?
Similar, yeah.
Similar, yeah.
Similar, back in the day it was different than it is now because the fits were different.
Right.
It was a wider leg, it was a higher rise.
Exactly.
It just keeps changing.
17-inch rise, or what was it, like 12 or?
Yeah, well now we're at 15, so then it must have been like 16 right around there.
Right.
Yeah. It changes now. I mean, now it even changes, every couple of seasons our fits change.
I mean, to me, it was just a head explosion because it was like the first real kind of man store that I'd ever been in. Like, oh, this is fucking it. You know, you had, then the next year you get into these great leather jackets. The ones that were like, I wore one on the red carpet for Hell Ride. And whenever I see it, I think all the way back to then, you know what I mean? But they were like a Western shirt, but they were leather.
They were lambskin.
They're lambskin, and they were washed and shit, no liner, and they were fucking badass.
They were badass.
Yeah, you wear it.
It's still now, even that jacket's badass.
Oh, yeah, totally. But, I mean, it's a different style. Now, the following year, you got into the cafe jackets. That's where the good money's at, right? These
cafe jackets cost us, we'd sell them for $2,500.
Yeah, but, I mean, people love that
jacket. People love That's our iconic jacket.
Yeah.
That's all over Hollywood. That's on that. You know, so many rock stars got that. That's our iconic. That's a piece of art, that jacket. Now, made right here in New York City, by the way.
Really? Who makes that?
Midtown. Who? I'm not going to tell you the name of it.
I know, but I'm just saying. I mean, because to me, leather jackets are...
we have a really small factory.
They're one of the biggest things in my life. So it's leather jackets and denim. And it's really specific, you know. That jacket is similar to the, J100 or the old Becks or whatever.
Mm-hmm. The old Shot jacket.
Shot, you know. But to me... did you tinker with it for a long time? Because it's all about how that thing fits.
Yeah.
Some were too long, the arms were too poofy, all that shit.
Too uncomfortable, too tight in the armhole. You couldn't really ride a motorcycle on it.
Right.
So, yeah, we did all that. We went through all the moves. We had a guy on a motorcycle try to wear it and make sure it's comfortable. We had the billows in the back to make sure that when you bent over,
yeah, small gusset.
Yeah.
Instead of a big old goofy gusset. I like that, you know?
Yeah, so that was iconic. Listen, when we were in meatpacking when this was all starting, we used to have guys come in from Japan that would come from the airport to the store with their luggage.
Yeah.
They said they didn't want to go to the hotel first. They would come to the airport to the store and walk in the store, and they would say, "We're in Mecca."
Wow.
That's, because we were the only guys doing it at the time.
I mean, you look at the industry now, it is humongous.
It's humongous, yeah.
It is humongous, man.
The customer base hasn't gotten so much bigger, but the supply base has.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of brands out there.
There's a million brands.
Some of these guys are making 3 or 4 jeans in their basement a week.
Yeah.
And they put a storefront online, and it sells.
I love that guy Roy in Oakland making his own jeans.
Cool shit.
The same with that guy Oni. He just makes like a couple jeans a year. Look at Flathead. They're made in one place. Then it goes to the next house. They put the zippers on. It goes to the next house button. I mean, all that
there's
shit.
Some great stories out there about all these original, some of these brands.
Yeah.
There's a lot of passion out there in the denim world. A lot.
Yeah.
You got some Kickstarter guys. Yeah, some guys are mailing the denim. Some guys are really authentic about it.
Now, do you stick to the same denim forever, the same weight and everything? What weight are you at?
Right now we're doing 13 3/4 with 13 and a half, 13 3/4, which is what we've been doing forever. Then we do a lightweight, and then we do a heavyweight. So that 13 3/4 stays the same.
Yep.
And then we add on heavy and light.
What's your heaviest you ever gone? Because I think heavy was a big fad for a while.
Yeah,
now I'm off that. Like 21 ounce was cool for me. Remember when fucking Naked and Famous did a 30 ouncer and it just sat up in the corner by itself?
Yeah, I never understood that.
Yeah.
I want to make shit people are going to wear and appreciate. I don't want something that you're gonna wear 3 times, reach in your closet and say, "What the fuck was I thinking? I spent $300 on these, and I'll never wear them again." That's not my mantra.
Yeah.
The heaviest we ever did was like 15 ounce.
Right.
Which is very wearable, and we had customers that still love that pant.
Now you do a black one too. Is that black dyed selvage denim?
Yep. We do black a little different.
Yeah.
We dye the yarns first and then weave the fabric.
Oh, got ya.
Yeah, most guys over dye black.
Right. Yeah. I do like the over dye, how it starts to change. You know what I mean?
It just fades.
Yeah. Does it fade to gray?
Yep.
Right. I like when it's just over dyed and it just starts turning blue if you don't wash it or anything. You know what I mean?
Or gray. Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, let's get into it. So you get that store up and running, and how long till you start seeing like, holy shit, man, denim is hot? Like, because we're talking, what year was that?
That was in 03.
I meet you in 05, so you've only been open 3 years by then. You had some bandanas that you were sourcing out. Remember that crazy old school?
I was buying some of those on eBay at the time, even the old ones, the vintage ones.
Those were great.
We were reselling a lot of cool vintage stuff then.
Yeah, and you had some belts. And then you had the pants, then the jackets come in, and then you get the rocker cut. So you get a new cut going.
Yeah.
And is that your
That was our best-selling fit for 9 years, that fucking pant.
Wow.
That rocker was a best-selling. For 9 years, it hung in there.
Yeah.
We still have it in the store, but it definitely faded, but we still have it.
Do you make one slimmer than the rocker now?
We make 2 slimmer than the rocker.
Really?
Yeah.
I got to try some on, man. It's been so long.
Yeah, we make a lot of slimmer stuff. That's what everybody wants.
Yeah.
The rocker's considered wide now.
Yeah, right.
It used to be thin because everybody went to the relaxed jeans that were big and baggy and looked like a fucking sail on your leg.
Oh.
And then we made the rocker and it was like, wow, this is cool. It's so tight.
Yeah. Well, remember
Not
for a
anymore.
minute when Lucky Jeans was hot and the Black Crows were booming and shit, it was all about the semi-bell, the flare, that kind of like the orange tag, the 517 or whatever, Levi. That boot cut, not the big monster cut, but the one that came down nice and then just kicked out.
Yep, a little flare on it.
That shit was the goods for a while.
You know
man.
what's funny? That hasn't come back since then because that trend probably not coming back for guys.
I know, isn't that funny?
For women, it came back. It's back for a little, but
Yeah,
on a guy, you're not going to see that trending for a guy.
It took a long time to come back from the 70s.
Yeah.
I mean, originally in the 70s, that's what you wore. I mean, it got all the way up to the elephant bell. You'd go to Mervyn's and you'd buy this thing from
Landlubber jeans and all that stuff. Yeah, some of the old school brands.
Yeah,
made the wide leg.
Now, I always tell people don't confuse this great denim for stuff like True Religion and stuff. That's like fashion garbage stuff, you know. That it was
high fashion stuff.
Yeah,
in and out, goofy shit.
My buddy Jason Collins calls it fancy pockets or pretty pockets.
Pretty pockets.
Pretty pockets.
Oh, that's great. Pretty pockets.
Oh
I got to pick up on that one.
Pretty pockets, man.
With the wide stitching and it looks like rope on the jean.
Some rubies and stuff back there, but that's all garbage denim. I mean, no matter what you think about the fashion, that wasn't any.
No, it's all price points, not quality. It's all price points.
It's all. Yeah,
it's not. Those people aren't interested.
So
in
you get up and rolling in the Meatpacking District, and you start getting some celebrities wearing the shit. Like I said, Bruce.
We've done a lot of celebrities. We do a lot of basketball players: Kobe, LeBron, Carmelo. We do. Michael Strahan is an amazing customer from a lot of athletes.
Yeah.
We do a lot of rock stars. We do
Brad Pitt.
I don't know if he ever wore.
Right.
We had a lot of guys wearing our leather.
Yeah.
Totally. Someone buy it online. Someone buy it from wholesalers. We wholesale all over the world. So a little bit of everything.
Now they can only get it at the store or online.
No, it's the same. We wholesale. So we sell Mr. Porter. You ever hear of website?
Oh yeah.
We do a lot of work with Mr. Porter. They're one of our biggest customers.
Right.
So we've been on Mr. Porter since day one.
Now, what is Mr. Porter? It's a website. I know what it is. But is it like this guy who has a store of all different brands?
It's a fictitious character, Mr. Porter.
Really?
Yeah, it's just they're the premier men's fashion website in the world.
It's a great website.
It's a great website. Their customer service is off the charts. You order something in New York today, before like 2 o'clock, it shows up today.
Really?
Yeah, then if you have to return it, you dial a number and somebody comes and picks it up.
No shit.
In New York. Yeah. Because that's where yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, no, they're killer.
And they only have the best shit.
Yeah.
I mean, when I look at it, it's basically like having Barney's in your house.
Right.
You know?
It is.
Yeah.
They have stylists. They're amazing. I do a lot of exclusive product with them. As a matter of fact, you familiar with Kingsman, the movie Kingsman?
No. Who's that?
Kingsman was a big movie. It's out and it was out like a year and a half ago. So Kingsman 2 is coming out.
Who was in Kingsman? I don't know.
I did the original
one. But what was it about?
It's about some spies. It's like a 007 movie out of London.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
Yeah, so Kingsman 2 is coming out, and it's the first shoppable movie. It's the first movie that you could literally look at the product on there and say, I want that, and you could buy it that day.
Are you kidding? No. So you're watching the movie, and what, you press something on
You go onto the Mr. Porter app.
Uh-huh.
It's only on Mr. Porter. I don't even have it in my own store.
Right.
It's only on Mr. Porter, and you can go on and you can say, okay, I like that, and I'm going to go buy it, and that's it. You're done.
Wow.
You walk off, the next day you have the product. Instant.
That's incredible, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's literally the first time in history it's being done with Kingsman.
I always say, back in the day when you looked at rock stars like Jimmy Page and he had the dragon pants and shit, there was no fucking Hot Topic or anything. People made that shit.
Yep.
You didn't go to Melrose and buy some dragon pants. You know what I mean? So, I mean... It kind of takes a little bit of the thrill out because to me it was fine. Because I remember the first time going to Japan when I was there with the Stones, and you go into that neighborhood with all the stores, and you're just going like, "What the fuck?" One store is all like 70s hippie.
It's all about the treasure hunt.
Yeah, the next store is 50s Elvis, and Fonzie and all that shit and rockabilly. Next door would be like Southwest motif. You know what I mean?
That's exactly it. Yeah.
That shit is amazing, man. You go to Japan much?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to go more. There's more inspiration there.
Right.
You know, as you were saying, the whole world's turned into more of the sameness.
Yeah.
So it used to be about the treasure hunt to find the exclusive item, the one product that was so fucking cool to inspire a whole design season.
Yeah.
You know, you go there, you buy 2 or 3 things, the next thing you know, you come back to New York, put a whole line together.
Yeah.
That doesn't exist so much anymore.
Right.
Most of the stuff's been picked over, and, you know, it just doesn't, it's not really out there in any way that it brings you the wow factor anymore.
Yeah.
You know, like you were saying, you used to go in some of the stores in Japan, you're like, oh, holy shit, I could spend all day in this place. Look at this shit. And you pile stuff up on the counter, and next thing you know, you have it's changed. It's all changed.
Yeah, it really has changed. I mean, to me also, I don't really need to go to Japan much. I mean, I'd like to go like once a year, but I just go to the Inspiration Show in L.A.
Yeah.
And then I go, oh, well, here's the good shit.
Yeah, they do a great job there.
The people that are in the game, I mean, you know, shit like Real McCoy and all that stuff. But, yeah, it has changed, man. And I think you can get a little bored, too. Like, you're like, fuck, you know, I need something new, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like maybe a new look or whatever, you know?
Or what a lot of people are doing now is taking the old look and redoing it.
Yeah.
Like I saw a company called denimrepair.com.
Yep.
So you could take your old jeans from 20 years ago, send them in to us, and we rehab them. We do what's called darning. We darn the crotch. We darn holes.
Right.
We patch the holes. And, yeah, it's your old favorite that tell your life story that you've worn the shit. And you got holes all over the place. We take that jean and fix it up and make it your favorite again. That's what we do at denimrepair.com.
I love that that style of repair. It's crazy because, man, you know, for years when I was wearing your jeans, I never even knew this, but people say, oh, don't wash them. Now they say wash them, get that dirt out of there because that's what makes the crotch sandpaper and fall apart. So now I wash them like once a month and hang dry them, you know, inside and out with like woolite dark and shit. But back then I would wear your jeans and then they would just be done. You know what I mean? You're like, well, these are done. I need another
pair. Back then, nobody repaired them also, right?
And nobody repaired them.
No, it was unheard of to repair jeans.
You didn't even wear them long enough to get that dope-ass look because they were so rigid and shit. That just sandpapered them apart. You know what I mean?
Then if you rode a skateboard or anything like that, then they go faster.
Completely gone.
Yeah.
So now you're down there at Meatpacking, and that place is completely changed. Pastis is gone. You're gone. Stella McCartney's gone. What happens down there? The rent just goes through.
My rent
roof?
tripled.
Tripled. Now, how long was your lease for?
My original lease?
Yeah.
Was for about 6 years.
6 years.
And then every time we would re-sign short term, over the next 5 years, it tripled.
Tripled.
Yep.
So
not fucking greed. The greed was just unbelievable what was going on down there.
Wow.
That's why everybody moved out. The landlords thought that everybody buy the balls. They raised everybody's rent, tripled everybody's rent. The Wall Street Journal actually wrote a whole article on it. And they jammed everybody up to the point that made it unaffordable.
Now, what was the rent there by the time you left? A month?
It was about $400 a square foot.
Well, like what? I don't know how many square feet, but what was that?
For 1,000 square feet, it's $40,000. For 1,000 square feet, it's $40,000 a month.
$40,000 a month rent.
Yeah, for a retail store.
Holy shit, $40,000 a month, man! You can't even. There's no way you could survive.
Yeah, that's why everybody left.
So what? When you first move in, it's like $4,000 a month.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Then it goes to $40,000 a month.
That's why everybody's gone. Listen,
wow.
Scoop left. Alexander McQueen, Matthew Williamson, Design Within Reach, Stella McCartney. I mean, I could keep going. Everybody's gone. When that place was humming, it was the coolest fucking place in the world for fashion.
It was.
And nightlife. Fashion and nightlife. It was like Disneyland because you could shop it during the day and buy some cool stuff and hang out with cool people. And then at night, within 3 blocks, was all the best bars and restaurants.
It's crazy, right?
And then it vaporized. Now it's nothing. Now there's the largest Starbucks in the country's moving in. And there's nothing there now, but it's all under construction.
Yeah.
And supposedly it's going to come back.
Let's talk a little bit about Soho. Now, did you move to another store and it got caught on fire, someone told me?
Yeah, I moved to a store on West Broadway.
West Broadway?
We were there for a little over 4 years, and we had a big fire one night in the store.
Wow.
In the building.
How'd that happen?
Nobody's really sure.
Right.
They did all kinds of investigations and come up inconclusive. Yes, I don't really know, but yes, we were over there. We didn't reopen that store because there was so much damage and all our inventory was shot.
Wow. My thing is I get like 2 pairs of jeans and I wear I used to get all kinds of jeans. And now I realize something. If I can find 2 that I love and rotate them,
Yep.
And just wear them till they just disintegrate. That's badass to me. You know what I mean?
That's the way to do it.
It really is.
That's the way to do it. You wear them.
Ever since I saw that Minimalist movie, you know, I'm like, okay, 2 killer pairs of jeans that look great on you. If you can find a jean that looks great on you, get a second pair and rotate them.
That's it. And keep it simple. Keep it simple.
That's it.
Wear the shit out of one and then start the new one when you want to go out, you know, when you want to dress it up a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
We have some customers that wear the same jean every day for a year.
Yeah.
Never wash it. And then they'll throw it in like a tub every now and then with some water. But
do you recommend washing them? A lot of people I hear now wash them
when necessary.
Remember back then it was like Febreze and put them in the freezer.
Yeah.
Remember that one?
It still kind of is.
Yeah.
For all the hardcore denim guys, still kind of is.
Yeah.
You know, we have a hard time telling people that in here because some of the guys that come in here that want to buy 5 pair of jeans, spend a lot of money. They're like, I don't believe in that necessarily, you know.
Yeah.
Well, you do what you want. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Any way you want to treat them, you can treat them.
You don't want to tell your customer, just buy 1 pair and wear them for a year. That's not good business. That's not going to pay the rent here in Soho.
That's not good business.
That's fucking crazy, man. It's so amazing because I really look back on your place, and that was the kickoff for my full-on addiction. The rabbit hole.
I love that.
Yeah, and to me, it really has gotten just better and better and better and better. You know what I mean? With these magazines like Clutch and all these
Pedals, Clutch.
Yeah, these Japanese mags that you can just look at, you know. Clothing is just an amazing thing when it's done right. You know, like I lost weight, but also the clothes fit me great. So when they fit you great, people go, man, you look dynamite. It's like,
you feel good.
It's just the clothes fit good.
Right.
That's all it is.
Well, you feel like $1 million when you got wearing good clothes that fit you well.
Yeah, man. Now, you live out in Jersey and you come in every day?
I live out in Jersey.
How long does that take you to get in?
I'm about 19 to 20 miles. And in the mornings, it's about an hour and 15. Going home could be anywhere from an hour and a half to 3 hours.
You drive?
I drive. Last Friday, it took me fucking 3 hours to get home.
You fucking drive?
I'm ready to kill somebody.
Why do you drive?
Because I like coming and going as I please, and I like having my own telephone and my own air conditioning controls and all that. I like being in control.
Has this place got you rich?
I don't know about that.
Oh.
I don't know about that.
Hey, man, I mean,
I'm enjoying it, though.
Yeah,
building a brand.
It's not about being rich. Can you get bigger, you think?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean...
You got to change with the customers. The customers are all changing these days.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The customers changing, the shopping habits are changing, the customers' needs are changing. It's all
What's the biggest change, you think?
Everybody wants an experience in that. They don't want to just walk in and be grunted at in the store and, walk out. They want to come in and they want to be made to feel like $1 million in the store. Yeah. We have tequila shots.
Yep.
You come in, you grab a tequila shot, you sit in the backyard where we are now.
Play good music.
We have great music playing. We have a guitar customers come in and pick up. It's about having an experience. It's not because they could buy the product online if they just want the product.
Yeah.
They could make a phone call and order it, or they could just buy it online.
Yeah.
So it's all about retail has turned into, it's really, you got to treat people right and you got to earn it.
Well, people are talking about how all the brick and mortar is going away, but that's for the just run-of-the-mill bullshit. There's always going to be stores like this because people need to go in and get out of their fucking house. Right. You can only Amazon it so long, and then you're like, I got to get the fuck out of the house. Most people go out of the house for 2 things: to go out and eat, or be entertained, or 3, or shop.
Mm-hmm.
And like, it's such a big thing for me to go into these stores. I love them. Like, I go in, I'm a sucker. I get in there and I go, oh god, look at this old fucking piece of leather here. Oh, they got some weird oil I can put on. I smell weird. You know what I mean? Oh, here's a great magazine. Oh, and they got a turntable in here. Let's put some records on.
That's what we like.
Yeah.
My kids don't like it. My kids don't give a shit about walking into a store. They don't go to the mall.
Yeah.
We used to go to the mall as a social event.
Yeah. Well,
we used to go there and run into people.
Yeah.
And talk and hang out with your buddies.
Well, the mall was your social media.
Yeah. Now the social media's in their hands 24/7.
That's it.
So that's what's happened, and that's what's taken an enormous hit on everything, on shopping habits.
Right. Now, how many items you got now? You got the jeans. You got the jackets.
We have jeans. We have jackets. We have all kinds of accessories. We have bunch of shirts, men's and women's. We got everything, a whole collection.
Right.
We have scarves, we have keychains, we have wallets. We got a little bit of everything. It's a lifestyle brand at this point.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like a lifestyle brand.
Now, how did you choose the name and the logo? The logo's a pig, right?
The logo's a pig for Meatpacking, man.
Right. Oh, I got you.
We signed up for the lease, and we're like, okay, now we got to get some checks made.
Yeah.
And we go to the bank, and they're like, okay, do you want to put a logo on it? We're like, well, we don't have a logo.
Yeah.
So my partner looks over, he goes, how about that? And it was a pig. That's how our logo started.
A lot of thought put into that logo.
Well, it was natural.
I got you. That's
we're
great.
Meatpacking, and we wanted to do something cool like that.
Yeah.
And we have still today, I'm looking at it right now, the flashing pig in the window.
I know.
Right? The flashing, that was from day one, the flashing pig.
I saw the sign when I was walking down the street, and I go, holy shit, that's the jeans shop. Let's go in there.
That flashing pig was famous. It was on a movie on MTV. They did a thing about it years ago.
Yeah.
That was the neon pig.
Yeah. Awesome, man.
Yeah.
So what do you think, how's the new location going? Is it good?
It's good. It's a fun location.
Yeah.
It's great. Have an outdoor space.
Smaller, right?
It's smaller. It's like 30% smaller, but we have a bigger backspace, like downstairs in my office and everything is.
Oh, yeah.
We have washing machines down there. We do.
What do you do down there? You wash the jeans down there?
We wash a lot of jeans down there. We do some production down there. We do a little bit of everything down there. Yeah.
Yeah. And so you get the denim in America at Cones, right?
Yeah, Cone.
Do you think that's like, why did you choose that denim? Just so it's made in USA?
Made in USA, but it's also the best quality.
You think so?
Yeah. I've always been a huge Cone fan. Yeah, I go tour the facility all the time. Cone's amazing. They make great product.
And they're using like old school looms and all that?
Yeah, I can show you some videos of them. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I got it all.
And how big is the place? It's just denim's
place is unbelievably massive. It's beyond huge.
I mean, look at those places like Cone and Horween Leather and all these different
out of Chicago,
those kind of places in America.
They're old school, man.
Yeah, right.
Really old school, but it's a challenge. It's a challenge because they're not necessarily as efficient as the newer ones. So your costs, are up.
To make it, you mean on the looms?
Yeah, manufacturing.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean that's what makes
Labor's
the jean
through the roof,
cool, right?
Electrics through the roof. Yeah, everything. Yeah, that's the best.
Now, also, you had the selvage line, like back then, it was orange.
Still is.
Still is, which was
dope.
Yeah,
it still is. We stayed true to that.
How did you pick that?
Just, orange and white is cool with indigo.
Yeah.
Dark indigo with an orange and white stripe on it, down the inseam or down the outseam is amazing. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I know, but did you try other shit?
Yeah,
like
we tried a bunch of stuff,
yellow,
different patterns,
green?
different widths. Because we do orange and then a little bit of white.
Yeah,
we tried a lot of white and a little orange. We tried not too many things, probably just like 2 or 3 different things before we landed on it.
Right.
Yeah, because back then it was unheard of to do custom selvage, like unheard of. Nobody did it.
Yeah,
and we said, okay, this is what we're doing, and everything we do now is still our own selvage pattern.
How'd you figure that? How'd you figure out to do it? Did you have meetings with Cones to say this is what we want to do?
Well, back in the day when we started, we were working with Kayahara out of Japan.
Oh, wow.
100% of our fabric was from Japan, so I had meetings with them and I went over there a few times and said, here's what we want, help us make it happen.
Right. And when you're going over there, how do you know who to talk to? From RL?
From my Gap days.
From your Gap days?
From my Gap days. We used a lot of their product. It wasn't selvage.
Right.
We used a lot of their wide goods. We used some of their selvage too, but not much.
Gap would use selvage?
We did a special program called 1969.
Oh, I know that one, yeah.
Now was out there, in a big way, but then it was tiny. It was collection. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I got some 69s.
Yeah. But now they're not selvage, and now they're cheap and all that. You know what I mean? It was
right.
Back in the day when we did it, it was made in Italy.
Wow.
And it was great quality. So it was Japanese fabric sold in Italy.
Wow.
Yeah, and I worked a lot with Adriano Goldschmidt on it from AG, who's AG now.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow, that's incredible, man. It's so crazy how I think the denim's is better than ever right now. Some of the different ones, like the super slubby or the
different casts.
Huh?
So let me ask you this: what do you think about stretch? There's so much stretch shit out there, and all these guys want it now.
I don't like that shit at all. I don't like that, but it's weird because that's an interesting thing because what you're getting into is like you want the look, but you also want to have a fashion gene, So I'm not,
especially now that everything's so friggin' skin tight.
Right.
Everybody wants a little stretch in it.
I know.
Because they want to be comfortable. Back in the day, you had to earn it.
Yeah.
I always said that you wear them. They're friggin' raw jeans. They're uncomfortable as shit. You're sweating. But you got to earn it. And then they stretch out and they turn into your favorite thing. Well, now nobody wants to earn it. They want to come in and they want stretch in it so it's comfortable from the second they walk out of the store.
Yeah, I'm not into that shit at all. There's a cut that Strike Gold makes called the 09, and also a cut that I just tried on by this brand Oni, that is like rock and roll, kind of skin tight, but has some ballroom. You know what I mean? It seems to be the perfect fit for me. You know, but it's. You know, it's rock and roll. You want your shit thick, but if it's not thick, then it's fine, skin tight. Like, man, like to me, I used to think the thicker the denim, the better. No. Oh, I want 21 ounce, and then you go, these are terrible. You get on an airplane and 21 ounce, you're like, get me off. You know what I mean? To me, I think the ultimate is 12 ounce now.
It depends on the weave. There's so many variables. Depends on the yarn size and. You know, I mean, you could do a 12 or 13 ounce. That's a loose weave,
right?
And it's comfortable as shit,
right?
And then you could do it that's a tight weave, and you could put a heavy finish on it, a heavy starch on it, and it's like it's like this. It's like,
oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
Gotcha.
It's like wood.
Yeah.
So it's it's not. It's
so
weight is one variable.
The weight doesn't matter. It's how it's
a variable,
right?
But there's a lot of other variables as well that matter just as much,
right? Yeah. Because if you got a good 12 ounce weight, you know, like Flathead made this one, man. It was like a 1950. I didn't like the cut. It was like a 50s kind of 501 or whatever. But the pant was like a kung fu pant, man. It was fly weight. It was killer denim, and it looked fucking great, man. Yeah. You could actually kick some ass in these denim. You know what I mean?
Yep. No, it's true.
Yeah.
But now, as I said, now guys come in, they want to be comfortable. It's about, it's a different world.
Real quick, before you split, we did meet, and we went to the Stones. It's been fucking 12 years. I can't even believe to see you.
It's so funny. You fucking flustered me yesterday. You're like, Eric Dean. I'm like, what the fuck? In 12 years, man.
I recognized you right away. I was like, I didn't remember what you looked like at all. Out of sight, out of mind.
Right.
And as soon as I saw you, I went, Eric. It was amazing.
I looked back. I looked that way. I looked back. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's funny because I was skinny when you knew me, and then I got fat, and now I'm back to normal. So if you would have saw me like 2 years ago, you'd be like, what the fuck, dude? You put on some weight. But we went to the Stones. We had an incredible night that night out at Meadowlands. What, you're a big Bruce guy. Who are you into?
Love Bruce. Big fan. Big friendly with a bunch of the guys in the band.
Yeah.
Brian Adams, great customer. Another great guy. I love the Stones.
Yeah. Do you ever meet Bruce?
Yeah.
When he came in and bought shit?
Yeah.
Did he just come in solo and there he was?
Solo. Just him. Solo.
And did you look at him and went, that's fucking Bruce?
Uh-huh.
What was that like?
That's great. And he was nice as could be. And now his stylist comes in and buys stuff for him. He wears a lot of our leather jackets.
I see him wearing shit, yeah.
Yeah.
So he comes in. Did you talk to him for a minute? How do you talk to him without going crazy? Like, holy shit, dude.
Well, I was, but he didn't know it. This is many years ago. It's all internal, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
you got to be stealth.
Yeah. Like, that Born to Run's okay. You know that one? Yeah, right? That guy's
that's one of my favorite things about being in retail in New York.
Yeah.
You just never know who's going to walk in the door. I mean, look at you yesterday. You know what I mean? You never know what's going to happen. Then 1 minute from now, who's coming in?
Yeah.
You know, we had Casey Neistat in here 20 minutes ago.
Yep.
Who was one of the biggest vloggers in the world.
Who else has come in that's blowing you away? Like, you're like, holy fuck.
I mean,
it's got to be someone like, you know.
The list is,
honestly,
I get it. Yeah.
It's just
Nicole
everyone.
Kidman's in here. You know, you name it, the movie stars they've been in here.
Yeah.
It's like, and that's what's flattering about it. It's nice.
Yeah, it's great.
It's nice when other people wear the jeans. So I got a funny story. So the other day I'm driving in, and I'm on Canal Street, and I'm in traffic, and I'm fucking miserable. And guy cuts me off, and I start to go a little bit, and this guy's coming by in a messenger bike, and goes right, like almost into me, and then right around me.
Yeah.
And he's right, like almost on my hood.
Yeah.
And I start beeping the horn, and then as he passes, I see it says he's got my jeans on.
Oh!
So I'm like, yeah, dude, keep going.
Hey, you fucking asshole. Nice jeans.
I know. That's exactly what my buddy was in the passenger seat. He was dying.
You into comedy?
Yeah, sure, of course.
You didn't even know I did it, man. It's like, you can't be that into comedy. Do you like comedy, though?
I do.
Who are you into?
I just don't have enough time. I don't have any special guys.
Why don't you just move to the city? Your kids are all grown now.
My kids are grown. My kids are out. My
Why
wife
don't
would
you
love
fucking
to
move right here down in the basement, man?
My wife would love it. My wife's from the city.
Why don't you do it?
I need space.
Why?
I got my dog. I got my yard. I love gardening.
What kind of dog you got?
Shit. Labradoodle. 120-pound dog.
Wow.
Big boy.
You ever bring him here?
Nah.
Really?
He's too old. Back in the day, I did a few times.
Dude, you should move back to the city, man.
I know. Yep.
Well, fuck, dude. Great catching up with you, man.
Great catching up.
I can't
Awesome
even
seeing
believe
you.
it. Awesome. And I'm here all the time, so you got to come see some comedy.
Congrats on your success. It's
Yeah,
huge.
thanks, dude. And we'll go see the Stones again.
Sounds good. Let's do
Have
it.
you seen them since then?
Yeah, sure. I see it every time they're around.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't miss a show. Every time they're around, I figure out a way to get there.
Thank you so much for doing the show. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. Don't forget to leave a review and subscribe on iTunes. And candles lit. See you guys.